Welcome back to this explainer. Okay, let's talk about a scenario that is probably going to sound incredibly familiar to a lot of you. You're walking every single day. You're hitting that magical 10,000 daily steps mark without fail. You're consistent, you are disciplined, and yet your stubborn belly fat absolutely refuses to budge. Literally no visible change in your midsection. And it feels completely unfair, right? Honestly, it kind of feels like something critical is missing from the equation. Naturally, your brain tells you, well, I just need to push harder, go further, pick up the pace, burn more calories. Because practically every piece of standard fitness advice tells us that more effort equals better results. But what if that advice is quietly leading you in the exact wrong direction?
Okay, let's dive right into this. Because this whole concept, it's not about walking less. It is entirely about walking smarter. I want to ask you a question that might actually feel slightly uncomfortable to think about. Imagine if we could just magically hit pause on time and look inside your body right in the middle of your daily walk. Would your fat cells actually be active, or would they be totally shut down, just silently ignoring all of your hard work? See, this is where we unknowingly misunderstand how fat loss actually works. We just assume that movement automatically equals fat burning, like, I decided to walk, therefore I am burning fat. But you know what? Your body doesn't choose its fuel simply because you decided to lace up your sneakers. It follows internal signals that, frankly, most people never even think about. Notice the stark contrast here. On one side, we've got your physical effort. You stayed consistent even on the days you didn't want to. You're sweating, you're getting your heart rate up, you are hitting those 10,000 steps. That effort is 100% real, and honestly, you should be super proud of it. But on the other side, look at the internal reality. Your fat cells could literally be completely shut down. Why? Because while your effort is totally real, your timing might be completely misaligned. And once you bring timing into the equation, the whole picture changes. Your body might actually be actively blocking fat loss instead of unlocking it, completely overriding everything you've ever believed about how effective your workout is.
So let's move right into Section 1, Access versus Activity, and take a look at how your body goes about choosing the right fuel. To really wrap our heads around this, we need to completely shift our mindset away from a purely effort-based approach to a timing-based approach. The absolute fundamental truth here is that fat loss depends on internal access, not just physical activity alone. You can easily burn a ton of calories during your walk and still not burn a single drop of stored fat. Fuel selection is a system controlled by your hormones, not just the physical force you're applying to the pavement. Your body is constantly making this choice between using circulating glucose or stored fat for energy. And get this, that critical decision actually happens before your walk even begins. To picture how this works, imagine your body as a highly secure energy storage warehouse. Inside this warehouse, your stored belly fat sits just like incredibly valuable fuel, securely tucked away, waiting for a rainy day. Outside the warehouse, your muscles are revved up. They're moving, they're working, they are demanding energy with every single step you take. So you've got demand on the outside and supply on the inside. But there's one critical detail most people overlook. How do those warehouse doors actually open?
And this brilliantly illustrates the core of the issue, the insulin lock. The door to that stored fat in your warehouse is controlled by a powerful hormonal lock, which is insulin. Every single time you eat, insulin rises to manage the nutrients that are entering your bloodstream. Now, that process is perfectly normal, it's perfectly healthy, but it also quietly acts as a massive stop sign that tells your body, hey, absolutely do not release any stored fat right now. So even if you go for a super brisk walk right after eating, the warehouse door remains tightly padlocked. Your body sees the available glucose from your recent meal and just chooses that instead of tapping into your stored belly energy.
All right, let's transition into Section 2, the internal walking timeline, and take a little metabolic journey.
We're going to take a chronological tour inside your body to see exactly what happens minute by minute when you go for a walk. Because when you slow this all down, you see the exact moment your body makes the crucial decision about its fuel source. Walk through these minutes with me. During the first 0 to 2 minutes, your system is just gently waking up. Your heart rate rises a bit, and your body preps for the incoming energy demand. Nothing crazy yet, but right here, this is the critical window, between minute 3 and 10. This is when your body officially selects its primary fuel source based on what's going on internally. If insulin is high because you recently had a snack, glucose becomes the easiest go-to option. But if insulin is low, stored fat finally enters circulation for real use. Think about that. It is the exact same walk, the exact same pace, but a completely different metabolic outcome underneath. Then, from minute 10 to 30, your body simply reinforces whatever pattern it started. It adapts and learns from the timing, not just the effort.
Which brings us to Section 3, Breaking the Glucose Loop. and uncovering exactly why so many of us just stay stuck.
What happens after your walk is where your body really starts learning from repetition. See, your metabolism isn't inherently stubborn. It is just highly adaptive to your daily habits. If you constantly walk when insulin is high, you are unknowingly training your metabolism to depend completely on incoming food energy, rather than building the flexibility to switch over to your fat stores. Let's break down this unconscious trap that we do every day. Step 1. You eat a small snack thinking, hey, this is going to fuel my fat loss. Step 2. You go for your walk, but your body uses that food energy first, burning off the glucose and leaving your stored fat totally untouched. Step 3. A few hours later, your energy dips and hunger quietly starts creeping back up. Step 4. You snack again, trying to keep your energy up, and boom, the loop repeats. You're moving, you're burning calories, but your fat loss stays incredibly minimal, especially around the belly where those hormonal signals are so sensitive.
Read this quote with me because it seriously summarizes the issue perfectly. The problem is not lack of effort, it is lack of fuel contrast. Without giving your body a reason to actually need stored fat, the access to it remains completely blocked no matter how ridiculously disciplined you are. Your body simply never experiences a moment where stored energy becomes necessary to survive the walk. So your effort is there, your consistency is there, but without that metabolic contrast, you just remain stuck doing everything that seems totally right on paper, but yields absolutely zero physical changes in the mirror. So, how do we fix it? Let's move to section 4. Finding your metabolic window. It's all about working smarter, not harder. Instead of obsessing solely over your step count or your speed, we need to focus on creating the exact right internal conditions for fat oxidation to actually happen. We need to stop asking how much you walk and start asking when you walk. So the crucial point is perfectly highlighted right here in this comparison. Look at the high insulin walk. Sure, it burns calories, but it completely ignores stored fat and just reinforces that glucose dependency we talked about. Now look at the low insulin walk. When walking happens while insulin is low, your body actually gets to practice accessing stored fat, which builds real metabolic flexibility over time. And this is wild. Research actually confirms that a slow walk in a low insulin state can outperform a much harder intense workout done in a fed state. It is not about pushing yourself to the absolute brink. It's the internal signals, the timing, that create the environment your body actually responds to. Now hold on, before you start drastically shifting your entire lifestyle, please note these really important guidelines. This approach is absolutely not about pushing to extremes. You do not need to starve yourself or force uncomfortably long walks on an entirely empty stomach. Your body still absolutely needs proper nutrition, hydration, and a stable energy balance. If you ever feel dizzy, weak, or unstable, that is a crystal clear signal to adjust immediately. The overarching goal here is gentle guidance, not stress. It's about building an awareness of your own metabolic window, not punishing yourself. Remember, sustainable change always works so much better when your body actually feels safe.
And that brings us to a final, very provocative question for you to chew on. Think about your own daily walking habits. Do you usually walk right after eating, unknowingly throwing a padlock on that warehouse door, or do you wait for a low-energy window when your insulin is down and your body finally has permission to release that stored belly fat? Listen, even tiny adjustments in exactly when you step out the front door can completely alter your long-term results simply because your body learns from contrast. So I really encourage you to experiment with the timing of your next walk, because once your body gets access, it finally starts letting go. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on this explainer, and keep exploring the fascinating ways your body really works.